Chapter 8. "What are you doing here?" Vega asked. When she had opened the flaps of her tent the next morning, she was shocked to see Clover standing at the edge of the roof, admiring the view. Clover turned around, raised her eyebrow, and smirked at Vega. Her look said, "You know why I'm here." "I guess I already know," said Vega with a sigh. "My mission is dangerously close to failing?" "Your mission is dangerously close to failing," confirmed Clover. She walked over to the tent, her arms folded tightly across her chest. "Spill it." So Vega did. "There's only one thing to do," said Clover. "You've got to find her, figure out what she actually did lie about, and fix it. All in..." She checked Vega's countdown clock. 4 star hours. "I think I can do it," said Vega. "I just need to get her alone. We started to have a connection yesterday." "Well, let's find her right away," said Clover. "You just have to keep thinking. Is there a detail that you missed? A small clue that will help us figure it all out?" The two girls left the roof and headed downstairs. They walked down the hallway to Ms. McKenney's classroom. When they got there, it was crowded with students and their parents, all of them buzzing with excitement. A doctor in a white lab coat was wheeling a human skeleton into the room. A book editor arrived with a stack of books to hand out. "Signed by the author," bragged Luna. "Hi, Vega," said Katie's dad. He took the stack of charts from under his arm and placed it on Katie's desk. "This is going to be deadly," whispered Katie. "I can't watch." Vega grabbed her arm. "Where's Ella?" she asked. "I overheard Ms. McKenney saying she wasn't coming in today," answered Katie. "I guess her mom didn't come back from Paris after all. What a disappointment." Vega just stared at her. That was way more than a disappointment. That was a disaster. Just then, Callie and her mother rushed into the classroom. Callie's mom, who ran a modeling agency, was carrying a big shiny box filled with headshots. Callie looked repulsed. "You'll never believe it," she said. "We couldn't get a cab, so we had to take the subway." "Ew!" said Lila. "My mother never lets me take the subway." The subway. The subway. Why did that seem so familiar? All of a sudden, Vega remembered her and Ella's words. "Is that a book of crosswords?" Vega had asked, and Ella had said, "It is. I do them on the subway." And Ella's mom had not gone to Paris. And the key she wore around her neck, it wasn't the latest trend in necklaces. It was her house key. Her distressed boots? Well, it was quite possible they were just old. "Oh, my stars," said Vega. "I had it all wrong. It's so simple. I'm such an idiot." Clover grinned and opened her mouth as if she was about to say something. "Don't you dare agree with me," said Vega. Clover just smiled. "I'll explain it all on the way to Ella's house," said Vega. "But first, I've got to find out where she lives." All she had to say was, "You forgot to tell me what Ella's address is," to the school secretary, who handed it right over. No questions asked. Oh, there was one. It was, "Are they serving German chocolate cake in the cafeteria today?" Clover laughed. "So it's true. We do smell like dessert." Vega looked down. Her wish energy was depleted. She stared at the address in her hand. There was no way around it. They were going to have to take the dreaded subway to get there. "I don't know what everyone is freaking out about," said Clover as they sat in the subway car. The train rocked and shimmied as it sped through the underground tunnels. It gets you where you want to go pretty fast. It doesn't cost a lot. And it provides free entertainment, said Vega, listing the subway pros on her fingers. She pointed to a young man who had just finished playing his guitar and was walking through the car, offering people money from his hat. Thank you, she said, removing one wishling dollar. That was certainly generous of him. He had a funny look on his face, but then he laughed. You're welcome, he said. So, spill the stars, said Clover, crossing her arms. I put it all together, said Vega. She takes the subway. She lives outside the city. She said her mother was not in Paris. Katie told me that some students at George Robert aren't as wealthy as the others. Some kids get financial aid because the school costs so much. I'm pretty sure Ella's lie was that she told everyone that her mother is a successful fashion designer. I think maybe business isn't going very well, and she doesn't want everyone to find out about it because it would embarrass her mom. The train emerged from the tunnel onto an elevated track. Clover frowned. You really think that's it? So what's her wish then? Vega thought hard for a moment. She wishes that... She never said that about her mom? Her brow furrowed. But that's an impossible wish. She sighed. This is all very confusing. I'm not sure how to fix this, and time is running out. She looked down at her stars app. And this is our stop. They exited the train car and found themselves on an open-air platform with a pretty mosaic sign. They headed downstairs, crossed a large boulevard, and headed straight down the block. There were fewer trees in that neighborhood, and not as many flowers. Not as many people either. Little wishlings ran down the street and rode their tricycles, while their caretakers watched, smiling. Finally, they reached Ella's building, a solid brick fortress at the end of the block. Vega could see the tall skyscrapers of the city in the distance. Against the bright blue sky and soft, fluffy clouds drifting by, it looked magical, like a fairy tale city. Vega used the last grains of her wish energy to push open the locked door. She and Clover rode the elevator in silence. They rang the buzzer for 6F. No answer. I can't believe it, said Vega. Where is she? What are we going to do? The door swung open. Ella stood there, looking furious. What are you doing here? She looked at Clover. And who is this? She asked. This is my friend Clover, said Vega. Pleased to meet you, said Ella. Nice boots. Thanks, said Clover, glancing down at her soft brown fringed footwear. Ella turned back to Vega, her mouth set in a thin, hard line. Now get out of here, she said. My mother is home. I don't want her to know what happened. She might think I'm embarrassed of her, and that would kill me. I think I can help you, said Vega. No one can help me, retorted Ella. I've gotten myself into this stupid mess, and I don't know how to get out. You have to trust me, Vega said. I'm here to help you. She smiled at Ella. Sometimes, when I'm feeling lost, I say a special phrase to myself. I call it my mantra, and it helps me. It gives me strength. Do you want to say it with me? Ella rolled her eyes, but she gave a small smile and shrugged. Sure, she said. I've got nothing to lose. Vega grasped Ella's hands in hers and recited her mantra. You are the missing piece of the puzzle. Ella gasped and stepped back. How did you know? Vega stammered. How did she know what? Ella grabbed Vega's hand and pulled her inside the apartment. Clover was right behind her. The apartment was spotless, very cozy and welcoming. The small foyer had a tiny hand-painted table and a mosaic-framed mirror. In the living room was a massive red and gold striped couch, a festive rug, and an antique chandelier hanging from the ceiling. The hallway that led to the kitchen and bedrooms had a dining room table and a china cabinet filled with vintage china in many different patterns. The sunny kitchen had fun antique signs advertising sarsaparilla, 5 cents a glass, and fresh eggs. Ella took the girls into her neat bedroom, which had a stunning view of the city skyline. "What a lovely place," said Vega. "Thanks," said Ella. "On weekends, my mom and I go to flea markets and thrift stores. We love to decorate." Then her face hardened. "I got myself into a real mess," she said. "When I first got the scholarship to the school, I was excited, but a little nervous that I wouldn't fit in. But I decided I was going to just tell the truth. Then I met Katie, and I really liked her. She asked what my parents did, and I told her that my mother was a housekeeper for a famous fashion designer. And I guess Katie only heard the famous fashion designer part. She told everyone. And I don't know, I guess I liked the way it sounded. People were suddenly really nice to me. And then, instead of correcting them, I let it go." Vega was confused. "Wait, so then who makes all your great clothes?" Ella smiled and shrugged. And there in the corner was the answer. A sewing machine and a dress form with a half-made skirt on it. "You really are the missing piece of the puzzle," said Vega. "Now you know," said Ella. "I take old castaway clothes that my mother's employer gives her and stuff I find at vintage stores, and I redesign them into clothes for me." She shook her head. "The girls at school are going to be angry when they realize that the clothes they were gushing over aren't couture, just stuff I sewed together in my bedroom." She looked at the ground. "Now I'll be the laughingstock of the school." "You've got it all wrong, Ella," said Vega. "The girls in school are going to be lining up to take lessons from you. It's going to make your lie go away." "Really?" said Ella. "Really," said Vega. "You just have to trust me."